With everything that is happening around us, how many of us feel anxiety or maybe even a little scared? I know at times I have felt both emotions. I have anxiety about my family and wanting to keep them safe. I am a little scared for those that are older in our family, and I am at times scared for Vicky and myself. These are the times that we must come together, think about the safety of each other, and because we are a people of faith, we must pray. This darkness will end, and we will see the light again, and thank God for getting us through this time. We are so used to seeing the light that sometimes we forget about the darkness. We should not let the darkness win. There's a story about a young newspaper reporter who interviewed Helen Keller. During this interview, he, as most people were, was amazed at her personal insight and determination. But during the interview, a sense of sadness overcame him about her plight, and he said to her, "Oh, Miss Keller, I am so sorry about your blindness." To which Helen Keller responded, "My young man, I am not concerned about blindness. I am concerned about people who do not have a vision." Jesus had a vision to bring people out of the darkness and into the light. Paul reminds us that at one time we were in the darkness, but now in the Lord we are in the light, and as such, we must live as children of the light. The gospel story is a beautiful rendition of someone born into darkness, and through the intervention of Jesus, sees the light, the correct path to follow in Jesus. It means that through faith in Jesus, the eyes of the blind have been opened, both physically and spiritually. Are your eyes opened? Do we become so involved in our own narrow interest that we miss the obvious? Our own narrowness does indeed cause the blindness that the gospel writer relates to us. The tragedy of spiritual blindness is vividly exemplified in the refusal of the Pharisees to be open to what was confronting them in the signs given through the ministry of Jesus, as their empty reasoning is made to look foolish by the straightforward honesty of the man they are trying to intimidate. You can be his disciple, they declare in their frustration. We are disciples of Moses. And as a response to their arguments, pointing out that his miraculous healing shows that Jesus is surely a prophet and that he must have come from God, the man who was born blind is progressively enlightened to finally be welcomed by Jesus into the company of his disciples, making his confession, "Lord, I believe you are the Son of Man," the very title that was to seal the fate of Jesus before the Sanhedrin. Sometimes in our searching, in our blindness, we may ask, where is God? Our gospel writer John would point to Jesus who today passed by and saw the blind man. John would have us look beyond Jesus' appearances to see the mystery of God's presence among us. Not only is God close at hand in Jesus, but ready to heal us and bring light to the darkest corners of our lives, the places we may not want to look at, but which Lent encourages to consider. Jesus comes uncalled and unexpected to the blind man, heals him and leads him to the light of faith. People who should have known better were blind to God's working in unexpected ways and for the least. We can't channel or control God. God chose to work in the blind outcast and not among the invested religious. A moment of humility for us here today. Today he is calling doctors, nurses, first responders, scientists, and all of us to follow his unexpected ways. For each of us this Lent, Jesus is passing by, sees our condition, and stops to heal us. We probably are like last week's woman at the well and today's blind man. We come to see who Jesus is, slowly and in stages. Note the blind man starts by naming the man called Jesus. Then he calls him a prophet. Then he recognizes him as the one sent by God, and finally calls Jesus Lord. I pray for each of you. Stay safe, remain calm, and God bless you.